All right. So we're live and we're testing. So we're testing a couple of different things. We're testing what's it look like if we go live directly through LinkedIn? What's it looking like if we go live through Restream? And how do we make these things work? And what's kind of funny, but also frustrating, depending on how you like to look at the tests, is it shows that we're past our scheduled time, but for whatever reason, check this out. Oh, there we go. Go live. All right. I'm going to try to go live twice. Let's see what happens.
Maybe there's a difference between just doing a live stream and doing a live streaming event.
Well, that's it's weird. Inside LinkedIn, they look like they show up as the same in the creator portion of the platform, but the setup structure is different. The advantage of doing the event stuff, which is what we're testing, and you might be seeing us in any different place. You could be seeing us in the actual event stream, and this is where we're going to lean on Craig and Wendy. You could be seeing us in the push that comes from Restream. It could be, through the magic of technology, all the same, which is what I hope it is. But we'll find out here in just a little bit once we start getting some feedback from folks. Brent, how you doing?
I'm doing good this morning, Mike.
Good.
We had a shootout at the Phoenix Open.
We did. What'd you think?
I only heard about it. I don't know.
Oh, you
I'm not
weren't
much of a
watching it?
I'm not much of a golf watcher, but apparently it was pretty fun and impressive, and everybody was psyched about it. So
It was fun. It was impressive. It was unfortunate because the guy that was in the lead going in to the final round didn't play as well as a number of the other players played, and then in Phoenix Open fashion, on the in the both in the last hole and in the playoff hole, you had somebody yelling, either in the guy's backswing or as he's getting ready to go through, like was he was getting ready to putt. So just little stuff like that. And golf is one of those games that's a little bit particular. You know, you're not supposed to say things while people are moving into their pre-shot routine. But anyhow,
when they're pre-shouting routine,
their pre-shot routine. So like when you get ready to go on stage for anything, do you have a way that you do it? Do you have like some kind of prep, or do you just go?
I'd like to say I have prep because all of the really great speakers that I've ever read about have always said that they had some sort of prep, or they get really quiet. Some of them would like go into a room by themselves
Yeah.
and wouldn't go out on stage until somebody came in to get them.
Okay.
And they demanded it be just one person come in to get them, and that nobody interrupts them between the room they're in and the stage, and all that. And I always thought, wow, yeah, I guess I should have done that. But I was always chatting up the AV guys in the back behind the stage, looking at all the cool stuff they were doing, or I was in the back of the whole place on the soundboard trying to get a last minute audio clip thrown in and then running up to get on stage just at the last minute. That's how I rolled. Not that I wanted to, it just seemed to be my style.
Yeah, well, then that's it. You got to find your style, like what works, like what gets you. Do you have a way that you get into the zone?
Yes, you walk up on stage and you just go.
See, there you go. And is there like a so in golf, to create a level of consistency, and ideally you've got a pre-shot routine.
Ideally, yes.
Whatever that
Ideally,
whatever that
yes.
whatever
I
that
think if I had a particular presentation that I gave all the time, I probably would have that, but I haven't gotten to that level.
Yeah. So the and I'm going back and forth with Wendy in our Slack just to see which way she's hitting this. Because on the other thing, so in the spirit of working out loud, which is what we're doing, and part of the hackathon that we're going to do next week on Wednesday is a work out loud type thing. Today we decided to use this Monday show as a test show to say, okay, what happens if we do it the way that we want to produce it, launching and announced and inviting people through the LinkedIn stream. What happens if when we do that in an environment like our daily stream? And this is not typically how we do the daily stream. Typically, what we end up doing is going into Restream, hitting go live, and then it just through the magic of technology, it goes to all of the different places. So we're working through it as we go. The thing that a pre-shot routine can do for you, it's kind of like a trigger word. Um, uh, so like, um, I know your kids swam. I've got a couple of different like superstition kind of things that I would do. You know, you whenever I was doing competing in whatever thing I might have been competing with at any given point in time, but it'd be like you always have the same shirt or something like that. So like if I'm out there speaking and I'm in front of a large group of people, I will have a button down shirt. It is a blue shirt and it's the same shirt. I've got a couple of different versions of it. It's not the same one every time, but it's like made by the same company, you know, whatever. So I always have that same kind of look when I'm there. Like here, I've always got a black t-shirt on. It's pretty basic. So there are different in an environment where I'm in a more of a breakout session kind of thing. I'm not going to wear that thing that I'd be up on the large stage with. But there's these things where I know it's go time, and like the you know turn the what's the live button that would end up happening when people are on air in radio. But when that sign is on, you know you're go, you know you're on stage, you know, be there and be present. Don't let the other outside distractions go through. So
Yeah.
pre-shot routines, very important in when competing, um, and and ultimately,
Very different than our pre-go live routines.
well, we don't. Yeah, we just hit the button and go. But I mean, that's us. Like that's
It's
and then we
all by
roll
design, people. It's all by
over the course
design.
of a little bit. So let's get into the news. I've got to wrap things up, at least on my end. And I don't know how it works if I bail, but I gotta be out of here by 6:40.
Yeah, we can end early today. It's okay. It's Monday. All we need to do is just tell people about, who we are, why we're here, and we're here to help everybody figure out, talk about AI, talk about L&D, help everybody relax a little bit and not freak out about it and not get so stressed on your LinkedIn stream when you're reading about all the cool things everybody else is doing. And if you're feeling a little bit behind, don't sweat it, because we're here to tell you about all the things you do need to know going into the office today. Maybe you're on your commute and you're scrolling YouTube and you just happen across this stream, or you actually signed up for the event today. Anyways, right now it's the L&D Morning Brief with our executive producer, sponsored by Gemini. Good morning, learning leaders. It's Monday, February 9th. If you're watching this, it means you successfully navigated the Monday morning inbox of doom. Congratulations. You've earned 5 minutes of L&D chaos. The top story today: the 2026 Talent LMS L&D benchmark report just hit the digital shelves, and folks, it's a horror movie. They're calling it learning debt. Apparently, we're all so busy working that we don't have time to learn how to do the work better. It's like being too busy drowning to put on a life jacket. The report says 50% of HR managers admit workloads are too high for training. We've reached the peak L&D paradox. We need to upskill to use the AI that's supposed to save us time, but we don't have the time because we're manually doing the tasks AI hasn't automated yet. If you feel like you're running on a treadmill that's powered by your own tears, this report says you're right.
I really do appreciate the level of humor that we have now that we've dumbed down our AI. And have you ever heard of go-to-market debt?
No, but it seems like everybody's got debt ever since AI came along. There's like learning content debt. There's uh, everything's debt
Well,
now.
how about technical debt? Have
Oh,
you ever
that's
heard of
the other
that?
one. Yes, we all have technical debt. Yes.
So, but if you, and this has been out there for a long time, it's so that's why I think it's cool to hear us now talking about learning debt. Um, and it just brings me back to the whole piece of, if you really think that your business and the way that you operate is all that different, why the heck over a period of time do we start using the same words in each of our operations? Like we
How would you explain tech debt from the
So
go-to-market?
technical debt, at least the way that I've understood it just from a software development and engineering perspective, is that as you build certain things and certain things work with each other, then when you start to uh, add on new things to it, you can either keep band-aiding it, or you can pull the band-aid off completely, remove the thing, and start over. You can do either one of those things. So in more specific terms, technical debt might be, hey, we've already invested so much time and energy in the hardware that we have operating our business, that um that it doesn't make sense for us. We have to overcome that debt before we can start investing in some of the new stuff. Um, in it's basically the idea that your choices that you've made before continue to have an impact on your business as you go forward, and you can either choose to pay them off and move forward, or continue to accumulate that debt. Kind of works on the same way on the finance side of things. So that's it. That's how I would explain it. Is that helpful?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure everybody else understood what it was. And in historical sense, what the L&D world has built up is content debt. Is what they mean by learning debt. I try to be very specific when we're talking about either training content versus learning. That's a whole nother story we'll save for another time. But the content debt thing. So you've got a library of e-learning courses that you've purchased, and you've got thousands and thousands of e-learning courses in your LMS, and that's your content debt, and nobody's looking at it. And most of them are outdated and not even useful anymore. But you had to buy the bundle because that's what got you the 10% discount when your purchaser was going through the process. But so that's the kind of debt we're dealing with in L&D when AI is coming around, and we have to try to figure out how to manage that.
Yeah.
There you go. So moving to tech and innovation. Articulate just dropped their What's New for 2026 update, and it's a hold my beer moment for instructional designers. You can now create AI JavaScript entrance animations without writing a single line of code. You just tell the AI what you want, like make this button fly in like it's escaping a bad date, and it writes the code for you. It's amazing. Finally, we can all pretend we're software engineers while we're actually just picking the right shade of corporate blue.
And you could make that date actually a date, like one of those things you eat. It's a bad date chasing the button in. We live in super interesting times. Have you seen the trend that's going on right now where people put in like caricatures of themselves?
Yes.
So this is a shout out to Larry Long Jr. After a text back and forth where I shared mine. He went and did his, and he came. If you know Larry, this is why you'll find it funny. He came. The first version of his caricature was a white dude in an Iron Maiden shirt with some Dungeons and Dragons stuff in the background, and some Star Wars stuff. Which, no, Craig, I'm not talking about you. But there's this. This is what came out as his caricature. Now, Larry's been on the podcast a number of times. We did the golf and sales thing a while back. Larry is not white. He is a professional speaker. He updated his prompts a couple of times, and he got things back to where it was. But it was super interesting to see his same prompt dropped into the system, what would happen. And there were a couple of different things that followed with that, which is, hey, you also got to give it a picture to go off of, right?
Yeah, well, you
Um,
got to give it a picture and you have to, and it asks you a whole bunch of questions. And that's why I just stopped. I thought, oh, if I drop this in, it
yeah,
just I didn't drop it into ChatGPT. I wanted to drop it into what I use, which was Gemini. So I used Nano Banana
yeah,
and I thought, oh, it's going to know me. So all I have to do is drop in this one thing and I'll see what kind of picture it gave me. No, it asked me a whole bunch of questions. And I'm like, ugh,
yeah.
I
So
want to work.
did you see mine?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So on mine, what I did, and if you go back and you take a look at the LinkedIn feed, you'll see some of the stuff that's in there. But what I did is I just dropped in the same prompt that Cassie had
Hmm.
recommended. So that's where I saw it the first time was when Cassie
Yeah.
had shared it. And so all of these things kind of go, and then it takes a while for it to kind of spread. It's that viral thing. Like it takes a while and it
Yeah.
kind of pushes its way out. Anyhow, I put mine in and it gave me that list of questions. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on."
Right.
But one of the big things it didn't have is it didn't have, and I didn't realize it didn't have a picture of me. Now I was surprised it didn't go grab something from someplace
Right.
else, but I grabbed a picture from one of the events I was speaking. I just grabbed it, dropped it in. That's all I did was I just gave it the picture. So I didn't answer any of the questions. I just gave it the picture
Oh.
and it popped out all of that stuff. Now,
Oh,
of
okay,
course, you've
maybe
got
that was my thing. Okay.
different funny people that are on LinkedIn who are like, "Ooh, look, the AI gave you profit twice, like inside the Venn diagram." Again, it literally didn't take it. It took me seconds to do this thing. It was,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it took me longer to go find the picture I wanted to drop in there than it did to um, to do the entire prompting piece. But
Yeah.
there are these trends that will kind of follow along where you can go around and you can kind of play and do different things. And the thing that I think is really cool about this part of the evolution is it's, well, hey, what if it does this? And even if it doesn't, and when you put it in, and if it screws up and doesn't do it, then you can always back up and you can always start over. And what
Yeah.
did you lose? You didn't lose, $15,000 bringing in an agency to go in and start doing some stuff for you. You didn't lose all of the time. You
Yeah.
literally lost a little bit of your time putting it into the system, and you learned a little bit about, ooh, when I give someone instructions or something or some whatever instructions, this is what is potentially gonna happen. So I think it's pretty cool. If you haven't done anything with the character trend, go check it out. And I think we are to the point on this thing. We are so close to it being super easy to be able to create short animated videos of stuff, and you can even do some of that stuff in Grok right now. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It is pretty amazing. And yeah, again, it's kind of like why we're here. It's a simple way to just practice utilizing the tool. And what we're going to do with the hackathon coming up next Wednesday, we're just going to have everybody enjoy some time hanging out with all the platforms working together to solve a challenge. It'll be fun. But on to the human capital segment. A massive neuroscience breakthrough from UC Berkeley. Turns out the reward system we've been using since the 70s, do a module, get a digital badge that looks like a fourth grade soccer trophy, might be a lie. Research shows that our brains rely on working memory and habit, not just rewards. In fact, when tasks get too complex, we actually repeat mistakes regardless of the reward. So if your learners are failing your 40 slide compliance deck, don't offer them a $5 Starbucks card. They're not greedy. Their working memory is just full of TikTok songs and is my AI going to replace me anxiety. Yeah. Did we know this already? Or I don't know. In our industry news,
there you go. Moving on.
the healthcare and defense sectors are leading a simulation revolution. Leonardo just announced their Genesis X platform for security and advanced military flight training. Why does this matter to you? Because high stakes L&D is moving away from check the box to don't crash the plane. If you're in pharma or finance, the DOJ is watching. New reports from Thomson Reuters shows compliance is now a technology arms race. Criminals are using AI to commit fraud. And if your training is still a PDF from 2019, you're bringing a spork to a laser grid fight.
Have you ever used a spork?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, big fan. Yeah. Simplifying. So you're all about simplifying. So the spork was totally for you. Like that's like what you would invent. If you were to invent something, you would invent the spork.
We were when we moved Andrew in back in August. I had suggested, because it's going to be a bunch of college kids in a house. I said, you know what? Just get one spork and some paper plates, and then like you got the spork. You always keep it clean. You put the paper plates in the trash every time you've finished eating. You just don't. Obviously, Jen thought I was an
one
idiot.
good mug.
How
It
dare
holds
you?
coffee, it holds water, it holds drinks of every kind,
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
I did add a fifth story to our executive producer. I said, hey, executive producer, I said, what we need is more stories specific to the authoring tools that we use. So I told it to find one. But oddly enough, one of our regular stories talked about Articulate. So now today we don't really need it. But in the spirit of, hey, yay, I made something new, here's our final story. Adobe Captivate versus Articulate. The feud continues. Recent comparisons show Captivate is winning on VR and responsive design, while Articulate is winning on actually being usable by humans. It's the Coke versus Pepsi of L&D, except both drinks make you spend 40 hours a week in a dark room wondering why the next button won't trigger. There you have it.
There you go. Good. Does he give it any more detail, or what ends up happening behind it? Like, was there a?
That was it.
That was how it pulled the difference between Coke and Pepsi in an L&D context.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. We'll
go through the instructions that I've given Gemini at another time, and people can critique how this executive producer functions.
What's on the cutting room floor?
Cutting room floor, we have agentic AI in HCM. So ADP and Gartner predict 33% of apps will have AI agents by 2028. Okay. I'll just throw in a quick comment. 100% of apps already, at least in our world, right? Like you can't go to a conference in L&D or HR or wherever HCMs might be. Everybody is touting we're AI now. We're AI now, and it's been that way for a year. So I don't know why they're saying 33%, but it just doesn't feel that way. It feels like everybody's got it. I don't know anybody that doesn't. Could be wrong.
Well, if you didn't, would you say you didn't?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. It's the thing that I think is really funny when it comes to a lot of that kind of stuff, especially with the percentages and whatnot, is that you've got so many people are saying, hey, we're doing all of this. Yet on the other side, you see so many instances of where the investments are failing. So what are we like? We might be enabled, but not empowered to actually work, or not actually work. I don't know. Like it just seems like there's if you were to plot it up, and maybe this is one of those things to have Nano Banana work on this, visualize the difference between those who highlight that they're an AI enabled and those who report that they're not seeing a return on those investments, and then help us understand where the consistencies and where the inconsistencies are.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
I
too
don't know.
early for ROI stuff
Yeah.
with AI these days. I really do. People can guess at it, but I don't know. Anyways, Deloitte's 2026 predictions is another cutting room floor one. LinkedIn Learning Insights. Career mobility is now the #1 motivation for learners. Apparently, that's the most popular series of courses that LinkedIn Learning offers. Hippocampus predictive coding. McGill research shows neurons fire early to predict rewards. EU AI Act implementation. Organizations are scrambling to train teams on high-risk AI governance. Micro-credentials surge. The LXP rise. Learning experience platforms are overtaking traditional LMS for non-compulsory training. Synthesia AI report, 87% of L&D pros are already using AI for video voice generation. ATD 2026 conference registration is officially open for the flagship L&D event. Global compliance fragmentation. Complex regional laws are making one-size-fits-all training impossible. You know, it's interesting. In the producer note,
Yeah.
it says main headlines: the skills debt crisis, talent LMS drops the 2026 benchmark report. And then it says hippocampus hack, neuroscience proves we predict the future, sort of. And I kind of read that one before we started. I didn't read the rest of it. Did the section on the brain stuff actually talk about neuroscience proves we predict the future, sort of? That's not what I took away from the actual story.
No.
It's a massive neuroscience breakthrough. Turns out the reward system we've been using since the 70s, do a module, get a digital badge, blah, 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 might be a lie. Research shows our brains rely on working memory and habit, not just rewards. In fact, when tasks get too complex, we actually repeat mistakes regardless of the reward. That's all it says about it. They're not greedy. Their working memory is just full of TikTok songs and is my AI going to replace me anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe it's the story at the bot.
What are you trying to, what are you working through? Like, you're trying to see how it connected
Yeah, how it
this
how it came up
setup.
with that. How it
Yeah.
came up with that producer note at the
Yeah.
top about neuroscience proves we predict the future,
Yeah.
and then it wrote a script in that section.
Yeah.
So that was obviously going to be a topic, something about the hippocampus, and then it writes the script, never talks about the hippocampus or predicting the future. It talks about something else.
Hmm.
So our executive producer's fired again today.
That's okay. We'll make another one.
Right, except the writers, they get to stick around, but the executive producer's got to go.
I do not understand how people can expect us to work with this kind of talent surrounding us.
Right, they don't get anything wrong,
I mean, come on now. So
the
here's
hits keep coming.
the just a quick update on the test, and here's kind of what I'm seeing. It's super
And by
interesting.
test, you mean testing out the event instead of
Thank
just
you.
live stream pushing to your LinkedIn account.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of different versions of the stream that I think are going today. I think there's the one that's the live event stream. Then there's the one that's that is the one that I set up through LinkedIn Live. And we've got people who are the streams are not crossing.
Mm.
Now I know in Ghostbusters we wanted to make sure we would never cross the streams, and then all of a sudden it was important to cross the streams because of the amount of power that comes from streams crossing. These streams are not crossing at this point in time, at least from what I can tell. And it's so it
And maybe me pushing out to my LinkedIn and YouTube kind of screwed everything up
so I
too.
think well but it works. So that's the cool part about it. It's like it works for the daily show, but
Right.
when we do the hackathon, we may end up just saying, "Hey, this is going to be a separate one." And this is why you test shit.
Well, it has to be a separate one anyways, because it's on a different day, different time. So yeah. And maybe we only, for the hackathon, we only push it to one thing. We don't turn on all of the different locations.
And that's what it looks. That's what it looks like. Is it looks like you just we set up the hackathon as a separate event, a very a different event rather than the daily stream. So now we know as we go through, and that's why you test. So
We should
if
test
you
again though, just to make sure. Because
what's
so
that?
we should test again though, just to be sure,
Yeah,
because
we're
right
gonna
now it's just
we
a
will
working
we'll test again. We'll probably
hypothesis.
test again on Thursday because I want to go through. I want to go through and I want to see. I want to see a couple of different things, but probably do this test again on Thursday. Um, and may even screw around with something on Friday too, just again to mess around. But
Has
anyway,
anybody had, I don't know if Craig's still with us or not,
yeah.
but has anybody reached out to any of you, or has anybody found anybody to be Gemini or Perplexity, to play the role of Perplexity or Gemini in our foursome?
Let me see if I can find somebody who has done a lot of stuff with Perplexity. Let me see if she's available and is interested in doing it. I'll reach out to Cindy on that side. I've not seen anybody raise their hand. Shannon might be someone to reach out to on your end.
I'll ask her.
Tim,
Yeah, I'll
just
ask her if she's interested.
ask
Yeah.
her as we go through it, but not yet. So we've got Copilot spoken for, and we have ChatGPT spoken for, and you don't want to see Brent and I hacking around.
No, you definitely don't. I'm not. I have not been. Obviously, I've been doing some stuff with the executive producer and whatnot. So I'm a functional illiterate when it comes to Gemini, but yeah, I by no means feel like I have experted it at all. Yeah, and we don't need experts. I mean, anybody that can just manage it and wants to take a shot at it, I think at this point, we'll take it.
And from my side, the my um but when I think about it, like objective from my perspective here is to demonstrate, look, just go out there and play around with these tools and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because
But this thing is that the thing is that that's what everybody is saying on LinkedIn, right? And so the reason why we're doing this
right,
is because there's a boatload of people out there that are like, where should I start? What should I do? It's too much. It's too much of an overload. So
right,
what we're going to do with this is we're going to help you just get started,
that's
and
it.
you're going to get to watch all four of them. You pick the favorite one that you want to maybe go after and get started in an account. Maybe you're currently not paying for one and you keep running out of tokens before you get to learn anything, and it's pissing you off, and you're going to have to pay the $20 for something, but you don't know which one. Hanging out and watching all four of them try to do a challenge all at the same time might be a good way for you to figure out which one you're going to pump $20 a month into. So there.
Yep. And you know what could go wrong? What's the
The beautiful thing is that so much can go wrong, and that's the awesome part about it.
like in the what's the and this is it always it always it's one of those simple cliche kind of acronym type things. It's supposed to make you feel good but doesn't help in the moment. What's the acronym for fail?
Oh, I don't know.
First attempt in learning.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of like, okay, it's cute.
Yeah.
I got a job to do.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
got, I'm a prof, like whatever. Well, here's an opportunity where you get an opportunity to test some things, or at least see some other people test some things, and
Yeah,
ideally,
and to just kind of see what happens. I've been kind of putting some thought into what are we going to have people do, right? And we originally were going to have use Craig's spreadsheet to have everybody figure out how to organize and build something around the spreadsheet. I'm not too sure what of all of his musical gear, but then I started thinking. Um, Maybe we need to do something regarding learning and maybe asking people to build some sort of training. And I thought, well, no, maybe that's a little bit too much. And then I started thinking maybe we just start off small and we first do something around text, and then we do something around images, how to creating an image, and then maybe we see if people have enough tokens left or whatever to maybe try their hand at creating a video. So maybe it's like multiple little mini um,
I think you're overthinking it.
challenges,
I think you're overthinking it.
Well, somebody's got to think about it because
Well, not
you're
think not
obviously too
think
busy.
about it. Think about it's important. Overthinking about it is where things start to. I think there's a beauty in allowing it to just kind of come together organically. And I thought that was the kind of the fun part about the challenge with taking. I mean, how many people really know what certain music instruments are? Now, the tough thing about doing that with the first challenge is Craig's one of our participants, so he would already know what these things are. So he's already got
He's got a
a little
he's
bit.
got a lead.
He's got, yeah. So, but think about some simple things like the one that I've seen done a couple of different times that I think is interesting is the whole idea of, um, go to your refrigerator and write down a couple of the things that are in the refrigerator, and then have um, you create some kind of recipe, or options for food or something like that,
Or you take a picture, open up the doors on your fridge and take a picture of everything that's in your fridge and upload that and
and
see
see what it
if
like that. So,
it can make a list out of everything that's in there.
and those and it could even, like, there's just a couple of those things, so we'll work through it and we'll get it out there. It's just the at the end of the session, if everybody who participates in this, not as the participants who are showing off the AI tool, even them, um, but the people who have been a little bit reluctant to go in and start testing, if you feel inspired and compelled to test, and even test in real time while we're going through, then we did our jobs. And um, the uh, the
Yeah,
Slack
Craig's
channels,
Craig's Craig's following along in the chat, in the Slack chat. And it's nice to get it real time too, or semi-real time.
semi-real time. We've been able to cut it in half.
Yeah.
I think that's the cool. That to me is the coolest part about what Slack has done for us. Is it part of our tech stack over here? It's cut our time delay in half.
Yes,
Um,
indeed it has.
but all right. So I've got to wrap up just
Yeah,
because
we'll let you go.
I get to go to the dentist this morning. Lucky me. Brent,
Guys,
where can
no,
people
no
find you?
root canals. No root canals. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, don't even say that out loud. We don't put that out in the universe. Where can people find you?
Hey, find us on LinkedIn. Join us next Wednesday. Where can people
Watch for
find our
the
channels?
watch for the event. We'll promote it, share it out there. Let's get some more people in here. Let's have a bit of fun as we go through it. If you would like to participate, be one of the first contestants on this month in AI Hackathon, we would love to hear from you. If you want to join the Slack instance that we have, which carries the conversation on beyond the each morning that we get together, let us know about that. We'll get you in there too. There's really some good stuff that happens in there, some sharing, including some of the caricature stuff from last week. Brent,
Maybe we do the caricature challenge as kind of a warm up. Have everybody get a picture ready and drop it in, and have all four of them in a 4 box, and have all of the caricatures pop up at the same time. That'd be cool.
That's so the thing that gives me anxiety about this entire thing is who's actually going to click the buttons to make sure that we show the right people up on the screen at the right time. And I am delegating all of that to Brent. So
You just have to give me access to the restream. Make me an
you
admin.
can't change things right now.
I have no producer access at all. Or else I wouldn't have freaked out this weekend and sent you all those messages, because I know you're not putting time and thinking about how to switch between a 4-shot and a 6-shot and a 2-shot. And
I mean, here, look, we can do this. Look at this. Woo. Hey.
Yes, but so far
Ooh.
it's just been me and you. How
Well,
does
but right now we only have two. We only have two. If we only have two things. So on
Right,
Thursday, we're gonna do another
yeah.
test. On Thursday, I'm gonna ask. A couple of people to be available for us to have you drop in. Drop into the test, because all we have to do is share the link, and somebody with the link, and we've done that before with Craig, should be able to come in to the if I do this copy invite link, actually we'll test it on Thursday. So there's a copy invite link that I see over here, Brent. There you should be able to. The other thing we'll do is we'll see if I can get you on as an admin in this stream. All right, very good. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.